Started. So 3, 2, 1, we on. What's going on, y'all? It's AVIOT Sunday Brew, once again meeting at night. I actually had a late night last night. I was watching Wakanda Forever. I actually never finished the movie, but I was watching it, and I was watching it into the wee hours of the morning, probably like 1 or 2 o'clock, and then I'm waking up late today, and then I had to get my day underway. I was pretty groggy for the entire day, though. So I slept, watched WNBA, always watching WNBA on Sunday. Women's basketball is top tier, faux show. And then just did some busy work around the house, and here I am talking to you all. So I tried to do Sunday brews in the morning, but that just didn't happen this time around. AVIOT Sunday Brew is a part of the AVIOT podcast. I can't believe we finally got a podcast episode out this week, but I recorded it on Monday. I was supposed to put it out on Tuesday, but my mom came to visit, and then I wanted to do another episode later on. And so that episode that I recorded on Monday, I ended up releasing on Thursday. So hopefully this week we'll have 2 podcast episodes out. Definitely check out the AVIOT podcast on a streaming service near you, whether it be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, what have you. That's that. What I want to begin today's episode by talking about is, and I think we're going to have a theme here, this theme of bigotry and supremacy for people of a certain demographic. I'm going to keep it a little, how do I explain this? I'm not going to fully just get into saying all of the R word and everything just yet, because I don't know how YouTube operates when it comes to censorship. So we'll start with this. I saw a campaign by American Eagle, and I'm actually working on a video right now to discuss this in further detail. Hey, Haj Fars, how you doing? So in this campaign, I believe it's to promote their jeans, their denim line for the fall. And it stars Sydney Sweeney. So Sydney Sweeney, I believe she was in the show. What was that show that Drake produced? I forgot. I know that, what's the name is in it? Tom Holland's fiance. All these names are escaping me right now. Let me look it up. Does anyone know that name? Zendaya. The show that Zendaya is in, it's a very popular show. Okay, Irish Train Sport, whatever. But it's a very popular show. I forgot the name of it. It's Euphoria. There we go. Sydney Sweeney is in Euphoria. I feel like that's where she really got more of her, I guess, claim to fame. That's when I started knowing about her, because you had everybody thirsting over her from that show right there. But anyway, Sydney Sweeney is starring in a series of commercials, advertisements by American Eagle promoting their jeans. And in these commercials or advertisements, it states, there's a tagline that says, Sydney Sweeney has good jeans. Hey, Adam, how you doing? I just read your comment, shaking my head. So it says Sydney Sweeney has good jeans, right? I'm thinking that this commercial or this advertisement is just literally, they're just saying, okay, well, this conventionally attractive woman, white woman that is thin has good jeans, like she's wearing good jeans, right? Because it's showcasing her in the denim jeans. But then I believe American Eagle said the quiet part out loud when they had one of the ads that says Sydney Sweeney has good genes, and they spelled it with a G instead of a J. Genes, your genetics. So to me, this was saying that, okay, well, Sydney Sweeney, being this white woman, thin, blonde haired, I believe, I don't know what color her eyes are, but she has good genes. Like, her genes are superior. And that is a no-no. And then in that same advertisement, it crossed it out and then said, has good genes with a J. So I thought that was very telling. It was like you're trying to communicate a message without communicating it, saying that this is the standard of beauty. She is the one that we should all aspire to look like for women, and that the white race is superior. They have better genes. And this really was troubling to me. And I made a video, and I'm editing it right now. I'm going to put it out on social media. I'm going to put it out tonight, in which I was saying that cotton that was used in order to create the denim fabric that we use in jeans was largely cultivated by enslaved blacks. The cotton industry was a worldwide industry. Enslaved blacks are responsible for a lot of this cotton being distributed worldwide. And the process of making jeans blue using the indigo dye is actually a process that dates back to African civilizations. So I think it's very telling. Misguided Angel, did they say she has the best jeans out there? They didn't say she has the best genes out there, but it's a series of commercials that says Sydney Sweeney has great genes. And in one of those commercials or advertisements, it says Sydney Sweeney has great genes with a G. In this current racial climate that we're in right now in the United States, having commercials like that is very telling. And it's either A, they don't have the proper team behind them in order to say, yo, this isn't a good thing to put out right now considering the current racial climate in the United States. Or B, they really were trying to promote a message. No, Misguided Angel. No, I don't think it was jealous or anything because it would have been fine if they didn't put the genes with a G, saying Sydney Sweeney has great genes, and then crossed it out and put the J. Yeah, about denim. Ryan Booth, what do you mean, yeah, about denim? Anyways, so the denim gene that we even know today, jeans, this guy ain't but yells. How do you know she has great genes? How do you know Sydney Sweeney has great genes? She may look attractive to many on a societal level, but we don't know what her health history is like. We don't know if she has any problems health-wise. Nah, you're saying she has great genes. I understand. Someone could look attractive, but that doesn't mean they necessarily have great genes. They could have underlying illnesses. Do you know how many people look attractive by societal standards, but have certain things that are going on internally? High blood pressure, cholesterol, all kinds of things. Her grandparents are still alive, so look. Okay. I see. I triggered some people in here, but let's just get it straight out. Saying that, I think it's very ironic that you're saying that this individual has great genes. Hey, Keldra, happy birthday. Jealous of what, Misguided Angel? What do I have to be jealous of? What do I have to be jealous of? Jealous of Sydney Sweeney? What I gotta be jealous of her for? Anyways, let me just get into this. The whole gene scenario, knowing that black people were integral in making genes what they are today. I think it's very ironic that you have a commercial saying that the white race, it's kind of implying that the white race has great genes, or this white woman who was thin and conventionally attractive has great genes, knowing that the history of black people were integral to creating these genes in the first place. In fact, there was a point in time, from what I've been reading, that white people didn't even want to wear jeans like that because it was seen as something that black people wore. So it's funny how we just flipped history on its head right now, and now this is something that is being championed as whatever for American Eagle. Bro, this shouldn't be a topic. Every race has good-looking people. That's correct. Every race does have good-looking people. However, media literacy is important. The parent company of this whole podcast and everything, Chemistry Productions, our big thing is on media literacy. And so commercials, advertisements, they can promote messages. And if you do not read between the lines, you will subconsciously adopt that message, or it will just be something that you don't pay attention to and someone else will pay attention to and they'll adopt that. Don't believe everything okay. But anyway, so that's that. I thought that was very interesting. Kind of staying on the same topic of this white superiority thing. Are y'all familiar with Laverne Cox? Laverne Cox is a transgender. Laverne would be considered an actress, I believe. They would say a transgender actress. Laverne transitioned into a woman, and so now they refer to Laverne Cox as she, her, right? So Laverne recently admitted, niece, true, but there's only one race, human race, and that started with a black man. Okay. So Laverne Cox recently admitted to dating a person who is MAGA. And I believe Laverne and this person, they parted ways, but as Laverne was talking about the experience of dating someone who was MAGA, Laverne kind of was reminiscing almost as if this was a romantic situation and that there were still feelings involved. So when people started getting on Laverne Cox about this, admitting that they dated a MAGA white man, and that they didn't really have any talks about race or racism or white supremacy before 2020, even though they were dating for a long period of time. They were getting on Laverne Cox about this, and Laverne responded by posting on Instagram a video saying why it's hard to date a black man. Now, Laverne Cox is black. So I thought it was very interesting that a post on why it's hard to date a black man was posted like you don't have other races of individuals you can date. So I guess Laverne thought it was implied that they should be dating a black man instead of a MAGA white man. But my thing is, why are you putting those two together? In my head, it was saying that you could have compassion for a MAGA man, and many, if not most, if not all, MAGA people, they're not for people being transgender, right? I think we can assume. I think it is. We can make an assumption that most people who identify as MAGA do not agree with transgender individuals existing or the process of someone becoming trans. So for Laverne Cox to be dating this man for so long who is MAGA, and then this individual doesn't even appreciate Laverne's existence, but that even is telling on that individual, like, if you're MAGA, why are you even sleeping with a transgender woman, a transgender black woman? But I think that's very telling too, because there's a lot of hypocrisy when it comes to people who are part of MAGA in the first place, or who identify as MAGA. But the fact that Laverne was romanticizing this situation, and it almost seemed within the video that Laverne still had feelings towards this person who is MAGA, I think that's very telling. And then to post a video saying why it is hard to date a black man, I don't. How does one get attracted to a trans? I mean, listen, trans people have a right to exist, right? Transgender individuals have a right to exist. My question more so was, if you're a white male and you identify as MAGA, Make America Great Again, this whole white supremacist thing, why are you sleeping with and dating a transgender black woman? That doesn't, it doesn't, it's just hypocritical to me. That's how I feel. It's hypocritical. So I felt that Laverne Cox posting a video saying why it's hard to date a black man on their Instagram account, I felt that was very telling. It was kind of putting black men down here. And then the fact that you're reminiscing and having still loving feelings about this MAGA man, this MAGA white man, was kind of putting that person up here. I thought that was very telling. And I just thought about it in more detail, and that's why celebrities in general, for black people, black celebrities in general, you cannot rely on these black celebrities in order to bring you to the promised land. You can listen to some of the things they say. You might be inspired by their artistry. You might be inspired by their words, their acting, but hey, they're flawed individuals just like all of us. I always say about celebrities in general, they're just regular people who have perfected a craft or who have been chosen by Hollywood or chosen by the music industry, whatever industry, in order to excel and succeed. Avoid anything mainstream, Jim West. Yeah, a lot of people who are mainstream are compromised. I believe I can say that. Yeah, black, white, yeah. A lot of them are compromised, yeah. And they go to wherever the money resides. Where the money resides. That's what it is. So Laverne, I was very disappointed in Laverne speaking on this MAGA individual with such loving language and almost romanticizing that relationship. But then at the same time, I'm reminded that Laverne is a celebrity. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Scott. Everybody loves green. You're right. You're exactly correct. The deeper you go down the rabbit hole, the more silent it becomes. Hey, Heather, how you doing? What makes you knock you off your feet? All right, some of y'all comments are not staying with the darn subject. But speaking of celebrity, I wanted to go into this headline right here. So the current president of the United States, he is currently trying to prosecute former Vice President Kamala Harris, Beyoncé, Oprah Winfrey, and Al Sharpton saying that fees that were paid for the stars during the 2024 election was not appropriate. So basically, he's going and saying that Beyonce, Oprah Winfrey, Al Sharpton, who came to speak lovingly or highly of the Vice President Kamala Harris, that this was illegal and this is a practice that shouldn't have happened. Now, the Kamala Harris campaign has, and as well as Beyonce's people, everybody has said that they did not get millions of dollars in order to speak up for Kamala Harris, Vice President Harris, and also promote her. They truly believed in her campaign and they wanted her to win. Let me see. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with these comments and also stay to the main point. Heather, I'm doing all right, just trying to get through this episode of Sunday Brew right here. Thank you for asking. All right. Okay. So basically, I believe that the President of the United States is still trying to deflect from this whole Jeffrey Epstein thing, him being in the Epstein files, by focusing on everything else except for that situation. Lolo Bands, hey, happy birthday. Hope you have a happy birthday tomorrow. Okay, Leo. This is Leo season right now, right? Well, happy birthday, Leo season. Okay, happy birthday to all my Leos out there. But if you look at what the current president of the United States is doing, right? Now he's trying to call for the vice president and Beyonce, Oprah Winfrey, Al Sharpton to be prosecuted over alleged fees that were paid during Kamala Harris's campaign. You look at what he was doing with the Washington Commanders. He wants the name changed back to the Redskins, which is an offensive name towards tribal groups. And if not, then he won't help with funding a new stadium that's supposed to be built in DC. He's also, what else did he do? I remember I mentioned it on the podcast. There's another thing that he did too. I just believe that he's just deflecting. He's trying to create all these big headlines in order to keep people from focusing on the main thing, which is him being in the Epstein files. What did you do? Who did you harm? Allegedly. Okay. Didn't Trump ban Epstein from Mar-a-Lago and help the feds lock him up? I don't know about that one. I do know that it is confirmed, Pam Bondi confirmed, that he is in the Epstein file. So what did you do? Allegedly. I must have a script on my podcast. Nah, I'm saying all this from top of the dome. I have topics that I talk about and that I have planned to talk about, and I try to weave them and connect them. Let me read some more of these comments. He's so deep into those files, he won't even release the redacted version. That's a good one. Dragon Ball edits. No, I'm not answering that question. I think it's clear by now who would have ran this country better, because right now, this ain't it. But yeah, so I got the article open up right here where the current president of the United States is trying to go after Beyonce, Kamala, and Al Sharpton and Oprah Winfrey. Seems like the intelligence community won't let him release anything. I don't know. Hey, Angela, how you doing? All I know is I believe that these Epstein files have some information in it that is not going to make him or a lot of other people look good. And that is why there is such a commotion about releasing these files. What I will say is this. By the current president of the United States coming after Beyonce has a very, very strong fan base. So I don't know if you want to irritate that fan base at all. They've been chilling, going to Beyonce concerts, but if you try to prosecute Beyonce, that's going to be something. That is definitely going to be something. You don't seem to know much about, okay, whatever. Whatever. Okay. But yeah, so I think he's trying to deflect. He's trying to get away from the main thing. And the main thing is, bro, you're in those files. We want to know what's going on there. Okay. All right. Sorry, I'm reading some of the comments right now. So that's that. So let's see. I covered the president. I covered this denim situation. I covered Laverne Cox. So that's kind of keeping in this theme of white supremacy in general. I saw something, speaking of which, I saw something on Threads, which is an app that I frequent often, using our parent company's account, Chemistry Productions. But there was something out there that said Jay-Z and his wife are billionaires. Come on. What does that have to do with anything? Jay-Z and his wife what does Jay-Z and Beyonce being billionaires have to do with anything? A billionaire can still be prosecuted. A billionaire can still be locked up. Look at Diddy. But I saw something on Threads in which it said being pro-black does not mean anti-white. I wanted to revisit that because once upon a time, I used to promote that, saying being pro-black doesn't mean anti-white. Pro-black means to uplift black people so that we're not looked to as less than, to make sure that black people are thriving and surviving. There's nothing wrong with that. I've come to say today that being pro-black does mean being anti-white supremacy. It doesn't mean being anti-white people, like white people shouldn't exist. No, that's not the case at all. But it is anti-white supremacy. The reason why there is this movement for being pro-black is because we've been told through media, through social conditioning, through racism, through oppression, over the many, many years that being black is negative. Having black features is negative. Wearing your hair in certain black styles is negative. So, as a counter to that, you have a movement of people saying, I am pro-black. I am pro-looking black. I am pro-having dark skin. I am pro-adopting black hairstyles. I'm pro-adopting black slang. To me, this is anti-white supremacy because white supremacy says that everything that is not blue-eyed, blonde-haired, pale skin, that is a negative. So I've come to say that being pro-black does mean anti-white supremacy. So maybe I should promote that more. I think that is a thing. Let me look at some of the comments. Being pro-white does not being anti-black. Yes, pro-white does mean being anti-black. If you look at the Holocaust, yes, it does. Being pro-white, if you say you are pro-white, that means being anti everything else. It sure does. Because anyone who has said I am pro-white over the course of history has been responsible for genocide, oppression, hunger, starving of all non-white groups. So being pro-white is not a flex. Is not a flex. Not at all. What does the Holocaust do with black people? No. First off, what is not promoted is black people their lives were taken during the Holocaust. There was a whole bunch of Africans that were killed too. There were a whole bunch of black folk their race was eliminated There are a whole bunch of black folk whose lives were taken during the Holocaust as well. It was not something that only affected the people who are referred to as Jews. It did not just only harm them. You can look up online that black people are forgotten in the Holocaust. So they were harmed as well. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Okay. You can look it up yourself. The Smithsonian has name a black person who passed away during the Holocaust. Okay. Hold up. Matter of fact, since y'all don't like to do y'all research, I'm going to look it up right here for y'all. People and the Holocaust. All right, black people in the Holocaust. Looking up right here. Since y'all saying I ain't telling the truth. Black people residing in Germany during the Nazi era faced discrimination, persecution, and violence. Right here. Where is the Smithsonian Magazine? Look at this. What does it say right here? Black people were Hitler's victims too. That must not be forgotten. Black people were also harmed during the Holocaust. So for y'all saying that black people, what is the Holocaust? Black people are also harmed. But the whole point of it, the whole point of me mentioning the Holocaust in the first place was to say that people who did not fit this certain definition of whiteness were harmed. People who are referred to as Jews did not fit this certain definition of whiteness. People who were handicapped, people who were black, all those people were seen. Everything that is not part of the Aryan race, they said, those people were harmed. So, all right, people in the comment section, y'all go a little wild. But what I'm saying is when people say I am pro-white, that usually has a lot of negativity attached to it. I'm not saying that a person who happens to be white is automatically a bad person, okay? So I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the promotion of whiteness has been something that we've been dealing with across the world for years, for generations. There's a reason why people in the West Indies bleach their skin. There's a reason why people in Nigeria, different African countries, bleach their skin, because whiteness is seen as better. There's a reason why a lot of historical figures have been converted to white. I remember Beyoncé, for instance. We're talking about, I'm spreading so much division. No, I'm not spreading division. I'm speaking facts. There's a time where people were upset because I believe a magazine had showed a picture of Beyonce and it seemed like her skin was lighter than what it actually is. It happened a number of times, actually. Now, Beyonce is a lighter skinned black individual, but she ain't so light that she is almost white passing. And in some of the promotion of her skin is pretty light and it's not cool. All right, I see I got triggered people in the comment section. Okay. I'm pro-human, Nathan. All right, I'm pro-human. Okay. That's a deflection in my opinion. Let me just stick to the topic. So at the end of the day, I believe that saying you are pro-black is anti-white supremacy, because white people as a collective are not better than anybody else. We all have unique characteristics. We all have unique traits. I'm proud to be black. I'm proud of my skin, proud of my hair, proud of my African features. Point blank, period. There's nothing wrong with that. I wish that we could live in a world where everyone's complexions could be celebrated. I wish that equally, I wish that we lived in a world where people weren't discriminated against. Unless you're a wicked person. But even in some circles, that's up to interpretation, right? Anyways, that's that. I want to end this because I know I spent a lot of time speaking on racism, bigotry, and oppression. I want to end this by speaking on another area of bigotry and oppression. It's kind of lighter. It's still sticking with the theme, but it's going to go into a lighter theme. So the WNBA, there's people that are saying, all right, the WNBA, they recently had an all-star game. And during that all-star game, the comments are going too fast right now, so I'm just trying to stick to the script because the comments are all over the place right now. I know I triggered some individuals. So the WNBA, they recently had an all-star game. And during the all-star game, they were wearing shirts that said, "Pay us what you owe us." And it sparked a big debate about pay in the WNBA because certain individuals feel that, well, these WNBA players shouldn't be getting paid that much. They're actually costing the NBA money because I believe the NBA helped fund the WNBA at some point, right? So basically, my stance is that WNBA players should be getting paid more. There's a big boom in the WNBA right now in terms of its popularity, in terms of people watching the games. And if the WNBA wasn't profitable or growing, then there wouldn't be new teams that have been added. So in this coming WNBA season, you have, I believe, Portland, they're getting a team, and Toronto is getting a WNBA team. That is growth. We also see that in the years to come, Philly is going to be getting a WNBA team, Cleveland and Detroit. That is growth. So the WNBA players, they have come to the table with the WNBA commissioner, the higher ups, and they've been coming to the table about negotiations about wanting to get paid more. I believe that WNBA players should be getting paid more. There's no reason why you have these WNBA contracts that are less than 80 grand for their playing. They put their bodies on the line all the time. They're subject to so much stress. The reason why you have WNBA players playing overseas right now is because they don't get paid enough in America. Okay, whatever. Y'all seem triggered in the comment section, but that's the reason. Like this whole Brittany Griner situation that happened over in Russia, the reason why she was over there is because her salary in the WNBA wasn't enough, and so she had to go play in Russia in order to get more money. I remember Brianna Stewie, love the way she plays ball. You know, UConn alum, and I'm always gonna big up Connecticut on this podcast. Or this live podcast, whatever. I remember she was playing overseas and she tore her ACL some years back. I'm glad she recovered and came back from that injury, but these players are overworked, underpaid, and the WNBA needs to pay them more. They deserve more money. They really do. So all of this, and it's funny because people who say, well, no one watches the WNBA, those are the same people all of a sudden now they know so much about paying the players and they have so much to say about the players getting paid. If you're saying no one watches the WNBA, why don't you sit this one out? Y'all don't watch it, so y'all should sit out of these conversations regarding payment of these players. It's really y'all asking for mods? Yeah, well, I'm doing this on my own right now. Once I get more of a handle on this live situation, because tonight is one of the more busier nights, I'll start getting mods. The live is about to end in a minute anyway. See, look, Christopher, you're one of those people. Let me see. You a dummy. If they look at how much the NBA took a loss. See, you're one of those people. You probably don't even watch the WNBA or know anything about the negotiations, but then you're talking about, oh, the NBA loses so much money by funding the WNBA. Y'all need to stop. And even, to be honest, if we're really being honest, the WNBA, their growth that they're seeing in the limited amount of time that they've been existing is amazing. The WNBA, I believe its inception was back in 1997. 1997, 2005, we're here. The NBA has been around for over 75 years, I believe. And in the beginning, the NBA wasn't about to make it. If not for Magic and Bird, I don't believe the NBA makes it. So the WNBA is doing way better in terms of their progress right now, in terms of how they're doing. So someone said, really, Dylan? I got to look that up. But the WNBA is a great league. I love the fact that the WNBA, I feel they play basketball more to the tune of how basketball was designed to be played. Nathan, I should know. You have the stereotypical look with the shades and everything in your profile picture. No. We're not about to go there. There are multiple reasons why the WNBA is booming right now. People have fallen in love with the players. There are so many players that are doing great things, from Paige Beckers to Angel Reese, Cam Brink, Camila Cardozo. She has a huge following from Brazil. There are so many players. Rakia Jackson. Those are more of the newer names, but then you have Asia Wilson, Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, Alicia Gray has gotten a new following now, Ryan Howard, Alyssa Thomas. There are so many names. And so many great players that have made the WNBA what it is. And to be honest, a lot of the reason why I believe people haven't really been looking at it like that before is because of promotion. A lot of people haven't been, the WNBA hasn't been properly promoted like it should. And the thing is, now that it is being promoted, we focus on a handful of players at times or a couple of teams. There's so many different storylines. The WNBA this season, it's a toss-up with who's going to win the championship, and I think that's a good thing. We see a lot of parity in the league. We see a lot of teams I saw a lot of good games tonight. The Minnesota Lynx versus the Atlanta Dream. That was a great game. My Connecticut Sun beat the Golden State Valkyries. The Golden State Valkyries is a new team right now, and they're doing good as a new franchise team, which is unheard of. They might actually make the playoffs. It's a lot of good storylines. So I guess tap next to this comment and make me a mod. Let me see. All right. Okay. Fine, I made one mod, but this what do you call it? This live is about to end in a little bit. But yeah, so the WNBA is a great league. I encourage you all to just watch the different games that are going on. There's a lot of great basketball play, and I love the fact that they play basketball the way it was meant to be played. They play tough. And there are WNBA players that can dunk. So a lot of people, I remember Shaq was talking about lowering the rims. First off, if you lower the rims for these players, they're used to shooting at a certain height. That means they have to adjust the way they shoot. It's not going to be easier for them to shoot with a lower rim. And secondly, there are WNBA players that can actually dunk. I can name some. We have Dominique Malonga, who plays for the Seattle Storm. She can dunk. Kiki Iriafen, who plays for the Washington Mystics. She can dunk. Brittany Griner, obviously, she can dunk. So you have different players that can dunk the ball, and some that you may be surprised about. Nah. You don't. Lowering the rim is not the solution to this. These women play ball very well. These women do a great job. And I encourage you all to watch the WNBA. As I'm saying right now, I believe it's the superior league right now. I watch the WNBA more than I do the NBA. That's not cap either. I really do watch the WNBA more than I do the NBA. I enjoy these players. I enjoy their competition. I really do. It's really cool. Anyways, with that being said, this episode, this live has gone on a lot longer, and I see there are a lot of triggered people in the comments section, and I think it's probably a good time to end this right now. So what's brewing for me coming up this week? What's brewing for me is really focusing on the podcast, trying to make sure that I get that underway, make sure that I get clips out there, promote that well. I'm really working on in the future. I'm really working on in the future to get more guests on the podcast that can really contribute some good information, be inspiring, teach us about different information that's out there, whether it be media, whether it be what's happening on a societal level. So that's a big thing for me going forward. So definitely promoting the podcast. I appreciate everyone who joined this episode right here. Definitely make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Our goal is to get to 10,000 subscribers this year. I know we're far off. We have a ways to go, but hey, a person can dream, can't they? But thank you all for tuning in. Until next time.